Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Is This a Ghost? I'm Clayton Smith, and every week I tell a real ghost story from real history to my real friend, Patrick Dean, who doesn't take it real seriously, but he looks real tired today.
Big tired.
What's going on?
Big time
You're
tired.
sleepy?
I'm a little sleepy. A little sleepy. I did some traveling earlier this week.
What cool, exciting big city did you go to for
Oh
work
man,
this time?
you got me pegged. I was in the outskirts or in the suburbs of Minneapolis.
Okay.
I drove by the Prince Museum. I did not get to go in.
Is it purple on the
It
outside?
is not as bright. It's like bright white on the outside.
Oh, he
Oh,
would hate that.
yeah. Well, he doesn't have to worry about it anymore.
That's true.
But
He doesn't get a
um,
say.
no, sir. So the most exciting part of my week was driving past the Prince Museum.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Did you get to
Um,
eat a juicy Lucy?
I did not. I ate
What are
it.
you doing up there?
I, I've, I'm asking that same question. I don't have a good answer for it.
I was also traveling. Thank you for
Oh,
asking.
hmm
Went to Disneyland,
we had different trips.
which was almost the same. Not as much Prince on my trip.
hmm
Princes.
Right.
Lots of
Yeah.
princes.
I saw the
Not
prince. You saw the princess.
Yeah.
This is,
Saw so many princesses.
yeah.
So many. Too many, really, quite
hmm
frankly.
Yeah.
It's a glut of princesses there. Too many. It was good. And I got to tell you, so I don't want to spoil anything, but
hmm
this is just a PSA
hmm
from one Disney dad to a sea of Disney dad listeners, I
hmm
assume. Next time you go to Disneyland, go there. So they just redid Toontown, and I know they're
Okay.
going to tell you that's for babies,
Right.
and that's true.
hmm
However, there's also a brand new ride in there called Mickey. I think it's Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway.
Yes.
It's awesome.
They have it at Hollywood Studios as well.
Did you ride it?
It is fantastic. I really
Man,
really enjoyed it.
I don't want to spoil the surprise of how the ride works, but what a treat.
Yeah.
I tell you, wow.
Well, they use that same technology, that kind of like like mobile car technology. They use that on. Have you done Rise of the Resistance yet?
No, if not.
They use it on there for a brief section of it, and they use it on the Ratatouille ride as well.
Must be nice
So.
to go to Disney World where they have Ratatouille rides.
Uh-huh, exactly. And understand how most of the rides work. It's a cool way to go through life.
It is a cool way to go through life. I'm just amazed by the magic of it. I assume that it's not engineering, it's real magic.
I do
And I
kind of
love
wish
that.
I do kind of wish I could go back to there's a part of me that kind of wants to get so drunk that I forget how the rides work. But
I'm going to target these brain cells
yeah,
right here. Go, vodka, go.
pickle the ones right in the front. Uh,
That was cool. I had no idea what to expect from that ride, and
mhm,
what a delight. What a delight.
mhm,
So I don't want to ruin it, but if you get a chance to go to Runway Railway, friends,
mhm.
that's the one. Even if it isn't kids area.
Yeah, I was, I mean, when I was in line for it, it was, typical Disney line ride, mostly adults, wearing really tight t-shirts for some reason. And
Yeah, sexy Disney.
yeah,
Disney is
or
sexy again.
yeah,
Or it's Florida. Is that what you're gonna say?
I think uh yeah, I don't know. So it's good stuff. Yeah, I would recommend. Big
Yeah,
recommend.
yeah. And then we also went to the beach, and it was 40 degrees outside, but we were on the beach. It was pretty cool. We did a bonfire on a beach, which is something I've always wanted to do ever since I
Wow.
watched TV shows as a
Sure.
child. And I
Yeah,
was like,
yeah.
oh my God, I want to someday I'll have a bonfire on a beach.
Did the Lost Boys show up?
They sure
Or
did.
really? That's good
Yeah,
news.
all of them did.
Yeah.
So yeah, about half of us made it out okay.
That's totally fine. Yeah. I mean, they're all like, 65 years old now, so they're not
Yeah,
like the
so a little
Lost
slower. Yeah,
Boys. But
yeah, they've lost a step. Those
yeah.
lost men. Also, the shirtless guy, the saxophone player,
Mhm.
the oiled, muscly
Very
torso,
familiar.
he was
Yes.
there. He was
Good.
there. Still sounds amazing.
That's fantastic.
Sounds amazing. Do you know they're doing Lost Boys on Broadway next year?
Oh, okay. Had they
I
they hadn't gotten to that one yet? In
No, weirdly they had
in
not.
the 80s movie?
I was also kind of surprised. Like we
Yeah.
have Back to the Future, we have Karate Kid. I
Mhm.
guess it's turn for Lost Boys. I'm
Yeah.
kind of excited about it. If there was ever a new career path for that
Mm.
muscly, oily-bodied saxophone player, it's the Lost Boys musical. I hope he gets a call.
gonna be like so much wire work in there. So much wire work in that show.
Lots of wire work. Yeah,
Like,
well,
confusing amounts of wire work.
You thought Spider-Man Into the Dark was bad? No way. This is going to be crazy.
We're gonna lose 3 actors in this show.
It would be great if they did like a really like an 80s throwback, going super lo-fi and doing just like a big just video. The whole background is this video screen, and you just hoist them up in front of it, and they fly like this. It would be great. I should direct this show.
Oh, absolutely. I don't know why you aren't.
I don't know. I'm waiting for that phone to ring.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, let's see what else we have going on. You have anything else to share?
I don't think so. It
Okay.
snowed here today. Little tiny bit. Just like the tiniest bit of snow. That was it.
My school and our daycare have been closed for the last 2 days
Because of
snow.
a threat of snow or
Yeah,
actual
well,
snow?
yeah, well, both. They closed down first because of the threat of snow,
Mhm.
and then it did actually snow. And it snowed, it snowed some,
Mhm.
not enough to be off home alone with the children for 2 days.
Sure. Yep.
After spending 5 days in California with them nonstop. I love them. I love them. They're wonderful.
But they are everywhere.
They're everywhere. All right. Let's see. I do have a quick update here. Definitely overused that soundbite last time, so we're gonna.
I mean, there was.
So we'll cut back a little bit.
Yeah, I stopped counting halfway through.
But it's important to note there's an update on 3D Ghost Coin.
Oh, great.
So 3D Ghost Coin has been huge.
Yes.
People are loving the dimensions.
It's the whole point of it being 3D.
Yes.
Massive.
It's so much bigger in every way. And the problem now is that it has amassed additional dimensions. And so Ghost Coin is now a 6-dimensional cryptocurrency,
okay.
which means,
right.
among other things, it has been traveling back and forth through time a lot.
Okay.
A lot.
Mhm.
I think it learned some tricks from the future because now Ghost Coin is God. I don't understand the physics of it, but
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know either, but I am glad I got in on the ground floor with Godcoin because
the valuation is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So congratulations to you and to me. And that's it. That's my Ghost Coin update for this week.
Yeah, when 3D Ghost Coin revealed itself to actually be a fragment of God himself, it climbed to almost 10% of Bitcoin's value. I was really excited to see that. It was knocking on the door.
We're getting there. We're getting so close. So close. All right. And that's our Ghost Coin update. So that's exciting. And now, you want to hear a ghost story?
Love to. He walked out the door and he gave him the knob whacking of his life.
All right. So tuberculosis goes way back.
Yes. And deep.
Yeah. It goes in and out.
Mm-hmm.
We apparently have found evidence of TB in Egyptian mummies as far back as 2400 BC.
Oh, okay. Is that what killed all the guys that opened up the mummies, I guess?
I think it must be.
Yeah, because
They called it a curse, and in some ways it is.
That was like, I don't know if you realize that, but that was how we got modern tuberculosis, was raiding Tut's tomb. It was...
They said, "No, what's this strange colored thing inside his lungs? Let me taste it." And that's what did it, everybody.
Snort it, you fool, before the park rangers get here.
Oh man, they cut that scene on Indiana Jones, but it would have been awesome.
A shame.
They kept it in. Snorting the pharaohs. Also, supposedly human bones from the Neolithic period actually show the presence of the bacteria that eventually became TB.
Okay. Yeah. Young
Which I
TV.
think that counts. Young, yeah. It's the young Sheldon of lung disease. So that counts.
Mm-hmm.
Now, obviously, as you know, throughout history, tuberculosis epidemics, they've waxed and they've waned.
Mm-hmm.
Here is a fun fact. Nope.
Wham!
Yep. I'm sure Jeremy will let us have a clean one on that one. He never does it. When I ask for a clean one, he never gives me a clean one.
He's very
All I
busy.
ever want is a clean one.
He's very busy.
He's very busy doing all the stuff I make him do for free. Here's a fun fact about tuberculosis.
Wham!
For a while, in like the 17th century, it was believed that monarchs could cure diseases with something called the royal touch.
Oh,
This is
ooh.
due to the divine right of sovereigns.
Uh-huh.
Ooh.
Which appendage does the royal touch you with?
This little lady is afflicted with virginity. I think you got to choose
Yeah.
which appendage.
Uh, uh,
Um, so if you were sick, the king could touch you and you would get better.
okay.
This worked
Sure.
100% of the time.
Like wake up out of a coma. Why is it on my face? I mean, I'm happy I'm alive, but
I'm grateful.
why is it on my
but
face?
it could be removed now, I think. This almost certainly had something to do with the fact that in the 17th and 18th centuries, tuberculosis ran absolutely rampant through royalty. So much so that tuberculosis became known as the king's evil.
Oh, okay.
So the kings would just like let people come to the castle and they would touch them and say, now you're cured. Now
Yeah.
you're cured. Now
Yeah.
you're cured. Now I have all your
Yeah.
diseases.
Yeah. or or more like, oh, what do you have exactly? Oh, you have strep throat. Oh, well now you also have tuberculosis. And bet you won't be whining about the strep throat anymore. Get back out of the field.
Oh, goodness. Let's see. The ancient Greek physician, I'm going to say Arateus.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
He was, yes, as you well know, scholar of Greek physicians.
Take all medical advice from Arateus.
He was the first person actually to rigorously describe, as they say, the symptoms of tuberculosis. And I just want to read word for word how he described the symptoms here. Voice hoarse, neck slightly bent, tender, not flexible, somewhat extended,
Okay.
fingers slender, but joints thick. Of the bones alone, the figure remains, for the fleshy parts are wasted. The nails of the fingers are crooked, their pulps are shriveled and flat,
Mhm.
nose sharp, slender, cheeks prominent and red, eyes hollow, brilliant and glittering, swollen, pale, or livid in countenance, the slender parts of the jaws rest on the teeth as if smiling, otherwise of cadaverous aspect.
You know, it's a wonder we ever made it all the way to germ theory, because this is just such a beautiful way to describe illness.
I'm gonna start demanding that my doctor start writing
Yeah.
up my my prescriptions and everything, all my visit notes this way.
And do it so I can read it this time, please. I don't have to ask somebody else.
Oh man! Now a more modern take on the symptoms of TB includes chronic cough that contains bloody mucus, fever, night sweats, and weight loss.
Yeah, I didn't hear anything in Arateus' description where you cough up
Oh,
bits of
coughing.
your lung into a dish.
That was different.
Yeah.
That was not part of it.
That was young TB. That's what that was.
Yeah,
Young
yeah.
TB. It sounded kind of glamorous actually, with the brilliant glittering eyes.
Yeah, it sounds like what I would give for my cheeks to be a little more hollow. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. Tuberculosis. Where are we here?
Mhm.
You're going to learn a lot about tuberculosis. You keep playing Red Dead Redemption 2. I don't want to spoil anything, but you're going to learn a lot about tuberculosis. Oh, by the way, you have an offer in a Discord for someone to to remote in and set up all your games for you.
You think I know how to let someone remote into my computer at this point?
The offer has been made.
Mhm.
All right. Before germ theory, there were all sorts of fun ideas about how to cure tuberculosis.
Oh.
Here are some. Opium.
Mm-hmm.
Seems worth a shot to me.
Yeah. I mean, may as well go down with the ship.
Bloodletting, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And
But Doc, it seems like I'm giving up too much blood as it is through the mouth. Right. Yes. Of course. But you need to be giving it up through the arms and the neck as well.
yes, as we know, the black bile does not come out through the mouth. It comes out through the stool. Bend over. That's where we're taking your blood from today. So opium, bloodletting, and strong walls.
Strong what?
Walls.
Walls. Okay.
Strong walls in your house.
Okay.
This stemmed from the fact they thought that maybe the illness had to do with the strong winds blowing from the northwest.
Oh no. Okay. This
So if
didn't
you
help.
build good walls, you're
Right.
going to be pretty good.
Right. So with your crippling lung disease, if you just stayed out of that fresh air and stayed inside
Yeah.
in your little asbestos cabin,
You would have
things
been
are gonna
fine.
be okay.
The idea to build tuberculosis cabins in the in a cave,
Yeah.
wet cave, suddenly sounding a little like it makes a little more sense. Now, let's see. During the Middle Ages, oh, here's a quote that will shock you. During the Middle Ages, no significant advances were made regarding tuberculosis.
Look, we were all real busy with the Crusades. We couldn't fix everything in the world. All right.
Oh, man. This was an especially severe problem in the 18th and 19th centuries in Europe and North America.
Mhm.
That was due to large part to factors like poor sanitation, overcrowding, and lack of medical knowledge. And that last one, that lack of medical knowledge, that's going to play a big role for us.
I
today.
don't know, like, don't cough into each other's mouths like a clown at a drive-through. Doesn't seem like medical knowledge. That just seems like you just don't do it. And yet,
They didn't know what clowns or drive-thrus were. So try again. In the 18th century, tuberculosis caused up to 25% of the deaths in Europe and the US.
oh, okay. Seems like a lot.
It's pretty high.
Mhm.
In New England alone, tuberculosis in the 1800s wiped out about 2% of the population.
Mm-hmm.
So of all the people, not just the ones who died,
Right.
it's 2% are now dead from tuberculosis. Which brings us to the town of Exeter in the state of Rhode Island.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the other city in Rhode Island. That's right.
Yes,
I forgot.
the one,
I forgot,
the other
I forgot
one,
there were two.
your favorite state. And we're in Exeter in 1892. George and Mary Brown had, I think, 5 children.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the sources said 4.
Okay.
But some said 5. By 1892, several members of the Brown family had succumbed, sadly, to tuberculosis.
Oh, okay. So it may have just depended on when the historian reached them.
No.
No. Okay.
You'll learn very quickly why that's not the mix-up here. The mom was the first one to go.
Oh, okay.
So Mary Eliza Brown, she died of TB on December 8th, 1883,
Mm-hmm.
age 36 years old.
Ooh, spring chicken.
Nice long life. Oh.
Yeah.
Differences of opinion. But Mary was quickly followed by the eldest daughter, Mary Olive Brown,
Mm.
who I think was 20.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's just the okay. Yeah.
Then at the end of 1891, so the family chills out for a little while.
Sure. Yeah. they're done with TB, for now.
For now. By the end of 1891, though, little Edwin starts wasting away.
Oh no.
Little Edwin's got consumption. He's got the wasting disease.
Mm.
And then not long after that, another daughter, Mercy Brown, also catches tuberculosis.
Oh. Yeah, thicken up them walls. Way too thin. Way too thin.
So you get for making your houses of mud and straw.
Mm-hmm.
At least 3 little pigs taught us anything. Strong walls. That third pig, not a drop of tuberculosis.
Absolutely not.
Let's see. Now, Edwin's wasting away. Mercy goes pretty quickly, though. So Edwin's taking the long route, but Mercy dies quite quickly. She dies of tuberculosis on January 17th, 1892.
Okay.
All right. So, just to recap, we got mom, Mary and the mom.
Mm-hmm.
We got young Mary, an old Mary and a young Mary, and Mercy. Mary, and Mercy, all dead.
Mm-hmm.
Edwin's not doing well.
Yeah, Edwin's like a half. He's like
He's
a
got
half.
a foot. He's got a foot in the grave.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so we're heading toward 4 here. Now, of course, George Brown, the dad, he is beside himself.
Absolutely. Yeah.
He's lost a wife, and that made it hard because he had so many kids. And then he lost 2 kids, and that made some parts of it easier,
Right.
but not in the way that you like.
Right. Yeah. I mean, like the house is a little bit quieter now.
Yes,
You got to admit.
so there are silver linings.
Right. But at the same time,
All things being even, I think.
kind of counting on the tax write-offs, though, is the problem.
Exactly.
So,
He's lost a wife and 2 kids already to this thing. Third one is dying. And his neighbors start coming around. And his neighbors tell him, hey, George, man, this is not normal. Like, at least some of you should not be dying from
Yeah,
consumption.
this is too much tuberculosis.
It's a little too much. Like, we get it. It's fashionable to have someone in your family die from TB, but this is too much.
I know you're trying to keep up with the Joneses and everything like that. And I lost my wife last year, but that doesn't mean you have to like one up me every time.
2 is fine. 4 is greedy.
Yeah.
So the neighbors are all like, there's something going on at your house, and it's not normal.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't take the neighbors long to figure out what that thing is.
Mm-hmm.
It's very clear, actually, what's happening to the Brown family and why so many of them are getting tuberculosis.
Is it a mummy? Did I get it?
That's so stupid. It's not a mummy.
I didn't know. Last
No,
time was
it's
a
not
mummy.
a mummy. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Okay.
One of the dead Browns is a vampire.
Okay. I was
You
off.
idiot.
I was way off.
So the neighbors posit that perhaps one of the Browns is not dead,
But undead.
But
Right.
undead, and
Right.
rises from the grave and is now feasting on poor Edwin.
Okay. But the dad's kind of running out of culprits, right? Because he's like, well, it's not me.
Right.
And I only have like one other child at this point, 2 maybe.
Yeah. So you're falling into the logic trap of this, which is that you would think it would be someone who has not yet died. That's not what's happening here. You don't understand. You don't understand how vampires work.
Okay.
What's happening here is that one of the deceased members is actually a vampire.
Is rising from the grave
Correct.
to
Because there's-
feast on Edwin. Okay.
Yes. Now they are going back to the grave because, of course, it's very dark down there.
Yes. Yeah.
So, but the question is not, is a vampire feasting on Edwin? The question is, which one is the vampire feasting on Edwin? So you've got Mary the mom, you got young Mary, and you got Mercy, who died in that order.
Yeah.
Who's your money on?
Mercy's a pretty good vampire name.
Mercy Brown is a very good vampire
Mercy, a
name.
very good vampire name. So I'm gonna have to go with her.
All right. I would put my money on mom.
On mom? Really? Oh, I don't
Because
even.
it feels like you go first. Because she's going to go first. The timeline doesn't make any sense here.
Okay.
If
Yeah.
Mercy's a vampire, what you're suggesting is that Mercy has lived as a vampire in the sunlight for a long time, like 10 years.
She's a child. I mean, if you ever put sunscreen on a kid, they hate it. They absolutely hate it. They'll be fine.
Sorry, are you saying that all children are vampires?
No, I'm saying that a child's more likely to be a vampire, just because I think they could survive in the direct sun for longer than an adult could. Have you ever spent like?
I'm not going to think about it too much.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Okay, so George's neighbors are like, George, you've got a vampire problem. You have to solve this.
And we have a pool going on which.
I'm sure they did.
Absolutely.
He's so fun. I tell them like, Edwin's going to die if you don't find and kill this vampire in your family. Now George is so sad about this news.
About
having a vampire in the family.
It's a double whammy, really.
It really is. It's just like insult to injury. Don't know if his life can get anywhere. So poor George, he starts off thinking like, there's no way that my wife and kids are vampires.
Right.
Like maybe this is like a germ or something. His neighbors are like, George, you're so stupid.
Like a teeny tiny vampire that we can't see. Oh no, millions of teeny tiny vampires that we can't even see. George, this is insane. Dig up your daughter.
Just go dig up your Now, apparently, to give the neighbors some credit here where credit is due, this was a pretty common explanation for tuberculosis at the time.
Yeah, I'm familiar with Rhode Island. I understand.
Yeah. Well, okay. And not just Rhode Island, but like all over the world. That because you're wasting away, they're like, well, someone's obviously drinking your blood because you're just withering.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, where else is it going?
Yeah, so it's not like they were just the first people to think like, oh my God, I think it's a vampire. Having said that, they were wrong. But they did eventually convince George to exhume the bodies of his dead family.
Oh no.
Well, you have to check.
Okay.
What if one of them is a vampire and you didn't check?
You will feel really, really dumb if you dig one of them up and they like
hello.
wake up. Yeah.
Poor Edwin. You got to think of poor Edwin. He's dying. So on March 17th, 1890.
I mean, if for nothing else, just to give Edwin a little bit of something to hope for, you know.
Yeah.
I mean,
You want to.
yeah.
you want to see your son. You want your son to see you taking action.
Yes, yeah.
Right.
This is very like a very Christmas Carol. You know, like that we got Tiny Tim.
In some important
Yep.
ways.
We
Yeah.
got Tiny Tim. And then we got the three ghosts. Right.
Who's Scrooge in this one?
Dad. Dad's definitely
Dad is
Scrooge.
Scrooge?
Yeah, it's absolutely Scrooge in this one. He has to be convinced, right, by the three ghosts.
Okay, that's true.
So,
that's true.
The exhuming of the bodies. I don't know how that fits
That's
in.
Fred. That's nephew Fred. He's
Okay.
because that's going to be a party.
Absolutely.
He's invited Scrooge to the party.
Yes.
Scrooge doesn't want to go, but they're gonna have some fun. They're gonna have some fun.
So, except for in this version of Christmas Carol, you know, after the three ghosts visit, Tiny Tim just falls over dead in the street, and you're like, well.
Well, we don't know that. Hold
What
on
are you
a
gonna
second.
do?
Let's find out. Maybe they solve it with the vampire thing. So on March 17th, 1892, the three dead bodies are exhumed by the local doctor, a newspaper reporter, and villagers. Just villagers.
Did they like draw straws on who was digging up whom here? I'm very confused. Like, how'd they sucker the newspaper reporter in digging up one of these bodies?
This is an exciting event.
Well, okay. Like you can take photos if you help with the digging. Okay.
And how?
Absolutely.
You'd never ask. Oh, you want me to bring my camera too? Okay. So first they dig up Mary the mom.
Yes.
Dig her up, and they are like, "Oh boy, she is ripe."
this does not look compatible with vampirism at all.
No, she was quite decomposed.
Okay.
So she's not the vampire. So I gotta check her off the list.
That's one of those where you just open the casket like just a couple inches, and you close her back down and say, nope.
Nope.
See, let's see how the newspaper guy's doing with his dig over there, because this one's going back.
Oh, so next they move on to Little Mary. Going chronologically here, they dig her up, and she has been totally eaten by worms.
Oh, okay.
She's basically bones.
All right.
And so they're like, well, I don't think she's the vampire.
Right. And so they think, well, process of elimination, Mercy has to be the vampire.
Oh,
Yeah. Why we don't even need to open it up, just burn it right now.
or this is adjacent to the Argonauts situation, and the skeleton is alive.
Oh, okay.
Could be. So we better check just to be sure.
We should just burn all of them. That's what we should do.
I mean, they don't care. They're dead.
They just
Couldn't
dug up
care
like
less.
mom who's in a pool in the bottom of the coffin at this point, and the worm-eaten oldest sister.
Yeah.
Throw them on the bonfire.
Okay, so they dig up Little Mary. Mary's not a vampire. She's bones. So then they dig up the body of Mercy Brown. And this is where things get interesting. Because Mercy exhibited almost no decomposition.
Oh, okay.
And also, there was still blood in her heart.
Okay. So they're really getting into the exhuming process here. They
have taken her apart. Yes, they sure have. You have to check.
So good news, bad news. The bad news is she may have been a vampire. That's really scary. The good news is it's going to be hard for her to be a vampire now because she's in 6 different jars.
Yes, her heart is in my hand. So that's pretty good.
Yeah.
So this is, of course, proof positive that Mercy Brown is an undead vampire who's feasting on Edwin's blood to keep herself alive.
Awesome. So Edwin throws his crutch up in the air and
Father, I feel wonderful. Yeah. Now I will remind you that Mercy died in January in Rhode Island.
Right. Pretty
Now,
chilly.
Pretty cold. The
Yeah.
ground is too frozen to dig. So they actually had been storing her in a stone crypt
Okay.
in what are pretty cold temperatures. And
Right.
they exhume her in March. So she hasn't been in there very long.
Right. And they've been replicating the conditions of like the city morgue pretty closely at this point.
Here is.
Oh, I don't need the photo. Oh, okay.
No. Here's the crypt that they entered.
Yeah, that's like it looks like an old ice house or something.
It's a
like
refrigerator.
That. Yeah, this is.
So,
I'd be pretty stunned if she wasn't still in pristine condition.
Of course, she's in mint condition.
Yeah. Like if I keep like a quart of yogurt in the fridge for this long, I still eat it. You know,
Of course.
It's not, yeah. I'm not
I would
throwing it
still
out.
eat Mercy Brown. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And by the way, here's what Mercy looks like. Now she gives a vamp.
She looks
She's
fine
giving
here.
vampire.
She looks fine here. I
This was
mean,
after the exhumation.
mhm.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, her eyeballs are still glistening.
anyway, so they like she's a vampire clearly.
Hmm.
So they have to deal with that. So the townspeople, are you okay?
No,
Is your house
not a big
falling
deal.
down?
Not a big deal. Not a big
House
deal.
of Usher over there. All right. So the town people freak out. They're
Right.
losing their minds because they have a vampire,
Absolutely.
and they decide they have to kill the vampire and save Edwin.
Right. Hmm.
Now they have already exposed her heart and
Yeah,
drained blood out of it.
Yeah, they've already disemboweled the vampire. So,
But that's not going to do it.
okay.
Okay. Now they have some options.
Hmm.
There at this point there are several going theories on how to best deal with vampires.
Uh-huh.
Now some people would go with what I would call the Patrick method.
Hmm.
Cut the head right off.
Yeah, remove it. Yep.
Yep. That way you know for sure everyone's happy, done and done.
Hmm.
That's very popular at the time. And some folks took a less grisly approach and just turned the vampire over face down.
Oh, okay. That's fine.
And they believed this would confuse the vampire, who would be completely unable to find their way out of the grave.
You think a vampire is some like species of tortoise or something? I'm not sure how they think this is gonna work.
Oh man. I don't know. I don't know, but it was a pretty good solution. But the problem with these solutions, as far as the townspeople of Exeter are concerned, is that they don't do anything for the victims.
Oh,
That's not going to help Edwin.
Right.
It might mean that she'll stop feasting on Edwin, but
Right.
you can kill the vampire, but he's already got vampire in him.
Okay.
Something. They don't seem to know how vampires work.
Right. Yeah. Sure. Uh-huh.
And I should say, in their defense, Bram Stoker wouldn't actually publish Dracula for 5 years at this point.
Okay.
So there's no real like foundational vampire knowledge.
Right. Yeah.
Everyone's just kind of like, we
Sure.
don't know
Bram
what's
Stoker's like lurking in the background of all these meetings, like, yes, excellent idea. Excellent.
happening. Turn him over on his belly, you say. Yes. Yes, and of course there's basically assumed that all this type of vampire panic, specifically the New England vampire panic, really inspired Bram Stoker to write Dracula, if you can believe it. So anyway, so they don't really know how this works, but they want to do something that kills the vampire and also helps Edwin. So there's only one solution.
Okay. Oh, why do I feel like I'm going to get nauseous when you explain what the solution is?
It's fine.
Okay.
They cut out Mercy's heart, obviously.
Uh-huh.
They already did that. They also cut out her liver.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And they burned them.
Okay.
Okay. So vampire done.
Right. Yes. Toast.
Vampire part of the problem solved.
Mhm.
Right. Then you gotta help Edwin.
Right.
So then what you do is you take the ashes of the heart and the liver, and then you mix them with water, and you make a new solution.
Yeah.
You say, Edwin, drink this. It's really good.
Yeah. I had a feeling I wasn't going to like it. Okay.
Yeah, and so Edwin drinks the ashes of his dead sister's heart and liver.
Uh-huh.
Now he says it is not good,
Right.
but they say it is
Taste
good
wise.
for you.
Sure.
It's like taking a vitamin.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure he doesn't like bran flakes either, but
But look what they've done for him so far. So this is the second part of the problem solved. So they've fixed everything.
Yep.
2 months later, Edwin dies of tuberculosis.
Oh no! Did he catch it again?
There was a second vampire. Can you believe it?
Such a shame.
The odds are incredible.
Oh.
But George never caught it. And if there was a fifth child, then neither did the fifth child catch it.
Okay. Right.
So maybe Mercy was a vampire, and drinking her ashes stopped the whole thing.
I mean, if you want to
impossible.
start pointing the vampire finger around, old Dad's sounding a little more likely every day.
Yeah, he
You
sure
know,
is.
I
That's
mean-
a good point. Yeah, where's he spending his daytimes?
Mm-hmm.
Gotta ask that question. It's important. Anyway, so people stopped digging up vampires not too long after the Mercy Brown incident, mostly because embalming became pretty popular.
Oh, okay.
And it seemed like that sort of handled the whole vampire thing.
Yeah, and they figured out how refrigeration works as well. And they're like, "Oh, fuck, that does make
goddamn.
sense."
Oh, that is embarrassing.
Mhm.
Sorry, George. Speaking of George, he lived a good long life, actually. He died in
to the age of 187. It was really odd. Nobody could figure it out.
He looked great. I don't know. I don't know. He died in 1922, which means that he lived just long enough to realize that tuberculosis was caused by bacteria, not by vampirism. Which I have to imagine gave him a lot to think about. I'm writing down vampire turtle before I forget. I feel like that might be a t-shirt option in there somewhere.
Not young TB. Not young TB.
Fine, I'll write down young TV. We'll let the folks at Fox and Quill kind of sink their teeth into that one. It's a vampire joke.
No.
Okay, I'll just keep going. Anyway, so as for our friend Mercy Brown, after they burned her organs, they finally gave her a proper burial at the family plot in the cemetery at the Baptist Church. And you can go there today and see her grave for yourself.
Wow. Okay.
You may also see Mercy herself. She is known to haunt the grounds of the cemetery.
Oh.
And apparently she's pretty angry about everything that went down. And I think my understanding is the family plot is like 20 yards or something from the tomb where they were keeping her. So it's all right there.
Okay. Okay.
Sometimes Mercy is seen as a bright blue ghost light hovering over her tomb. Other times, though, she's a full-bodied, pissed-off apparition. Visitors sometimes leave her little gifts, like flowers and vampire teeth.
I'm stunned why she's an angry ghost. It makes no sense now.
Yeah, she doesn't like the vampire teeth.
Yeah.
But she does like the flowers. And sometimes when she appears, she seems to calm herself by bending over and smelling the flowers on her grave.
Oh, that's very nice.
Her ghost also sometimes appears on a bridge next to the cemetery. And when she appears there, she always smells like roses.
Oh. Very
So
pleasant.
Ended up really nice for Mercy.
Yeah, I mean, she's having a really good time in the afterlife.
I think so. I think so. Lots of vampire teeth. That's fun. It's a fun gimmick. And that's the story of Mercy Brown, vampire ghost of Rhode Island.
Goodness.
Yeah. I was glad that she's a ghost because I really wanted to tell that story. But for a while I was like, I don't know. I don't know if there's gonna be a ghost in this one. We pulled it out, and that's true. All true stories all around. So what do you think? Does that change your opinions about Rhode Island at all?
Not in the least. No.
No?
But
Does it strengthen them?
yeah, I would say it doesn't move them off center too much. I guess I do appreciate a good vampire, some sort of non-typical ghost creature. I do appreciate that. A little bit of a curveball there.
Yeah, I will see if I can find a good mummy ghost for next time. That would be fun. Well, that's going to do it for our story today. Hey, listen, if you like the show, please take a second to rate and review it on the platform you listen. Tell all your friends and subscribe so it just shows up in your podcast feed every week, every Wednesday. Please, God, subscribe. That would just be great. Send the ghosts after you if you don't. And you can follow us also on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Blue Sky, and TikTok at Is This a Ghost? And don't forget, we do even more of these stories over on Ghost Plus, and you can hear them for $6 a month, which is like nothing. And you can go to isthisaghost.com for more on that. Is This a Ghost is a production of Smith's Show Media. All the notes this week were taken by me, Clayton Smith. All the funny jokes were from Patrick Dean. Our audio editor is Jeremy Montoya. Our video editor is Jen Swanson. Our social media team is Kai Valonis, Sam Murdoch, and Jennifer Jones. And we have new merch coming so soon from Fox and Quill Studio. Give them a follow on Instagram as well at Fox and Quill Studio. They are doing some really fun work that we can't wait to share with you. And that is going to do it for us this week. So I think just put it in your will that when you die, you want them to cut your head straight off.
Yeah.
That's the only thing to do. Ironically, that is going to save you a whole lot of headache later because it's going to keep you for certain off the next episode of Is This a Ghost? Unless you become a ghost because they cut your head off and you're not expecting it.
Like one of the really angry ones?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're really rolling the dice, I guess.
We've had ghosts that have been literally boiled down to just a fine soup, and they still came back as a ghost. So
yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, that's bad advice. Yeah. Sorry, everybody.